Hello everyone, and welcome again to Monday Musings. Today I wanted to play a little bit with some melt art, and I'm using the Melt Art Ultra Thick Embossing Enamel, otherwise known as UT, and I'm using some mold and pour. I'm going to make some molds. I have my melting pot right here, and I have some melted UT in it, and I also have tinted it with this Melt Art dye. I have a set of 3, yellow, red, and blue. This comes in other sets, but this is the one I have. And I put 3 or 4 drops of blue into my melted UTE, and it is a little bit green because mine UT had already kind of burnt into an amber color. So that yellow plus the blue that I added makes kind of an avocado green. So what I want to do is show you how this mold and pour works. I went ahead and made a mold, and I was trying to use just a little bit, so you probably want to get your molds thicker than this. I'll show you how I did that, but first I want to show you that this is what I made, and I'm going to try and bring it up close. I hope I don't bring it out of focus, but I hope that you can see that it's very, very, very detailed. I'll also set a photo on the blog so you can see this detail. And what I did was I made it out of this plaster mold of an angel, and I mixed my mold and pour, and I pressed this in here and waited until it set up, and then pulled it off. Then I poured my UT into the mold and let it set. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really, really easy. You have 2 tubs. Let me move my melting pot over just a little bit out of the way. So you have 2 tubs, and what you need to do is to take an equal amount of each one, and I'm just going to take a little bit because I'm going to make a mold of this cameo right here. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of the white, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the purple. You need to get an equal amount, and you need to make sure that your containers are closed and closed tightly so that it does not, so the air doesn't get to them. Then you're going to take this and you're going to mix these 2 parts together for about 30 seconds until they become one. You don't want to overwork this because it will dry and set up in your hands. So just about 30 seconds is good enough. And you'll see that it changes from being 2 colors to a sort of light violet once it's been worked enough. And I want to make sure that we do this for an entire 30 seconds. And you see all remnants of the different colors has gone. I'm kind of pulling it apart and putting it back together, working it, and then I'm going to roll it up into a little ball. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cameo and I'm going to press that right into that ball. I'm going to press it right down into it. Then I'm going to let it set for 7 to 10 minutes is what it takes, and might be able to slide that up off of there and move it. There we go. Use my palette knife to do that with. Any thin blade type thing will be able to do that. So we're just going to let that set for about 10 minutes until it dries. So what I did here is I made another mold, and again it's just kind of thin, so you want to use enough to where you're surrounded all the way around your embellishment that you're impressing into it, and then have a little bit of thickness. Now you can reuse this mold over and over and over. This one I made of the angel, even though it's thin and had cracked, what I can do is I can take some more of the mold and pour that and mix it up again and put it on the back of this, and then that will heal itself for the parts that are torn because I made it too thin. And this is a dragonfly, and I didn't quite have enough to make the entire length of the dragonfly, so we're just going to get the impression of his wings and part of his tail. So this is ready. It's been setting up for about 15-20 minutes. I had a thin part here, and so I just rolled some more and put it on the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour. Then I'm on a non-stick craft sheet, so I'm going to pour my UT right onto this mold, and it's okay if it goes out of the mold. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to sit that back over here, and I'm going to put its lid on it, and I'm going to turn it off so that I don't burn myself. Okay. So while we wait for this to set up, what's really nice about these is that you don't have to buy a whole bunch of different colors of UT. Sometimes those are hard to get hold of. All you really need is some clear, and then you can just put in 3 or 4 drops. Now I could have put blue and yellow in and make a nice green. I could put blue and red in and make purple. Use what you know about the color wheel and color properties to mix and match your own colors. And of course there are several other sets that you can add and make more colors. And this would last you forever because I only used 3 or 4 drops. Okay. One other thing I want to show you that you can do while this is setting up. See if I can do it behind. This is a stamp of a leaf, and I'm going to, I turned my UT back on because I forgot I wanted to show you this. I'm going to pour this right over top of this stamp. Well, let me make sure it gets a little bit warm again. Okay. I'm going to pour this right over the top of this stamp. Going to let it harden, and then I'm going to pull it off of the stamp. So this is set up now, and I'm going to pull off my mold, and hope you can see all of the detail in that mold. And then all I have to do is, while it's still warm, I can take my Tim Holtz scissors and I can cut off the parts that are extra. Now of course this is a short dragonfly because I didn't make the mold large enough for all of it, but I can go back and add to it. So it's pretty easy to cut off the pieces that are the overflow while it's still warm. It's set up, but it's warm. And I think I have one more part right here. And then you can use these on your pieces, or your mixed media pieces, for embellishments. If you don't like it, all you have to do, throw it right back in the melting pot and it'll melt down, and you can start over. You can do that with all of these pieces too. And this mold now you have for forever, and you can use it again and again and again. So I'm going to pull this up off my stamp now. See if I can get a hold of it. If not, my palette knife always comes in handy. You can do this with LeBlanc stamps too. All you have to do is pour your UT out onto your surface and stamp into it. And I could have done that with this as well. You can do it either way. There we go. Almost got it. And then I have leaves and the impressions of the veins in it, so that I can trim these leaves off. Trim off this excess while it's still warm. And then I can add these to any of my mixed media projects that I want to do. And set it behind a paper flower, set it behind a UT flower. All different things that you can do with these. And it's very inexpensive, because you know the UTE you can use over and over and over. Let me pull this off, cut this off, and then we'll have our stamp. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, you can do that with any stamps that you have. You can do it with any embellishments that you have, and then all you do is just pry the rest of it off, throw it back into the pot, and your stamp is good as new. And you can start over and play some more. So I hope if you've got a melting pot and you don't use it, I hope that this gives you some courage to get it out and start playing with it. It's really, really fun, and a lot of things you can do with it. Play with this mold and pour. It's really great stuff. It's easy. It's fun. Let's see if our mold is set yet. Okay, there you go. Nice cameo mold, and all I have to do is pour some UT in there, and I can make my own cameo. So experiment, have some fun. See you next week.